Assalamu alaikum everybody. Welcome back to my channel Rapid Revision. Today's video is about price elasticity of demand, and price elasticity of demand. Before we study price elasticity of demand, we should be aware what is the demand, the law of demand. So the law of demand is simply that when prices rise, quantity demanded falls, and when prices fall, quantity demanded rises. So a lot of students can argue on this, that there are certain products for which consumers don't decrease their demand even if the prices rise. So let's say there is petrol. Petrol is something that you need to purchase when you are driving a car. So a lot of times when the price of petrol increases, the quantity demanded does not fall very much. It falls a little, but it does not fall very much. So what is basically the study of how demand responds to a change in price is price elasticity of demand. And the definition here will be it is the measurement of responsiveness. It is the measurement of responsiveness of quantity demanded following a change in price. So rather than learning the definition alone, you should also understand the definition. There's a change in price first, and how the quantity demanded is responding to a change in price is basically the study of price elasticity of demand. So sometimes when price changes, the quantity demanded falls very much, and at other times if the price of the product changes, like let's say the price of the product rises, the quantity demanded does not fall very much. So there are situations every product will have a different response. The consumers respond in a different way for different products. So let's say if it's a luxury product, so the rise in price will actually lead to a huge fall in quantity demanded, because it's a luxury product. It's not something that the consumers need. However, if it's a necessity and if the consumers really have to consume that product, so the rise in price will not lead to a very big change in quantity demanded, not a very big fall in quantity demanded. So the formula for PED is simply PED is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. And the percentage change formula, so for quantity demanded or for price, what you need to simply do is that you need to write new quantity demanded minus old quantity demanded divided by old quantity demanded multiplied by 100. Same goes for price. So new price minus old price divided by old price multiplied by 100 will give you the percentage change calculation. And what happens is that when you get the answer to PED, let's say the answer to PED is greater than 1. So PED is equal to PED is greater than 1. So when PED is greater than 1, what happens is that your denominator, that is the percentage change in price, is a small number, and the percentage change in quantity demanded is a bigger number. So there is a small change in price which has a huge impact on quantity demanded. We call this price elastic demand. So I will call it price elastic demand. So you guys must know what price elastic demand means. So when PED is greater than 1, it is price elastic demand. Also, you'll say a small change in price will have a huge impact on quantity demanded. So a small change in price will have a huge impact on quantity demanded. This is basically price elastic demand. So when PED is less than 1, so that is when PED is less than 1. That is another situation. When PED is less than 1, what happens is that your percentage change in price is a bigger number, and percentage change in quantity demanded is a smaller number. So in the numerator, you will have something small, a small number, and in the denominator, you will have a bigger number. Then you will get your answer. Your answer will come out to be less than 1. So when PED is less than 1, so this is basically simple math, numerator denominator. When a denominator is a bigger number and a numerator is a smaller number than the denominator, so in that case percentage change in price is greater than percentage change in quantity demanded. That is when your answer will come out to be less than 1. So this is going to lead to this is going to be price inelastic demand. So I'll call it price inelastic demand. So that means your percentage change in price, the change in price does not have a very big impact on quantity demanded. So I'll write here, there's a change in price, but it is not affecting the quantity demanded very much. So a change in price is not affecting quantity demanded very much. So there is a change in price, but the quantity demanded is not changing a lot. So let's say there is a change in price of 10%. The quantity demanded is, let's say, a rise in price of 10%, but the quantity demanded is only falling by 3%. So that will lead to a 0.3 of PED. So that basically is going to be less than 1, and it's called price inelastic demand. And with the name also, you guys can understand by the name itself as well that inelastic means that the demand has not stretched a lot. There's this change in price did not impact the quantity demanded very much. However, in case of PD being greater than 1, a change in price will have a huge impact on quantity demanded. So that is price elastic demand, and price inelastic demand is when PED comes out to be less than 1, which means the percentage change in price is a greater value as compared to the percentage change in quantity demanded. It is also called price inelastic demand. So this is going to be price inelastic demand. A change in price is not affecting quantity demanded very much. So this is basically going to be your PD and its formula, and what is the interpretation. Okay, one thing you need to know, and you need to also make a note of it, that whenever you will calculate PED, there will be a negative sign in the PED. So negative sign will stay there. Why is there a negative sign? So negative sign, whatever, you need to ignore it for interpretation. So whenever you get a negative sign, so let's say the percentage change in price was 10%. So then that means the prices increased by 10%, which lead to a fall in quantity demanded of 3%. So that means prices increased, but the quantity demanded fell. So that means this is going to lead to a PED of minus 0.3. Minus 0.3 means 0.3. So minus 0.3 is actually inelastic demand. You should not consider minus for the interpretation, because minus always will be there in PED calculation. Why is that so? It's because of the inverse relationship of price and quantity demanded. So why there's an inverse relationship. Whenever price increases, quantity demanded falls, and whenever price decreases, quantity demanded rises. That's a negative relationship that stays there between price and quantity demanded, so also called inverse relationship. Also, one more thing, if PED is equal to 1, that is what we call unitary elasticity in economics. Unitary elasticity. Why is this unitary elasticity? Unitary elasticity means that the percentage change in quantity demanded has exactly matched, sorry, the percentage change in price has exactly matched the percentage change in quantity demanded. So let's say there was a 10% rise in price, there's a 10% fall in quantity demanded. That is going to lead to PED being equal to 1. Okay, so the next page here, it says there are calculations that we need to study for PED. And PED basically is tested a lot in MCQs in the O-level economics exam. So the calculation of PED, especially in the O-level MCQ exam. Here the calculation is for rice, and the price per kg of rice in June is 20, and in July it's 22. So the price of rice is rising, and therefore if you can look here, in June the quantity demanded was 100,000 kgs, and in July the quantity demanded fell to 98,500 kgs. Now what I need to do here is that I need to calculate percentage change first. So percentage change in price, I will calculate that percentage change in price. So like I told you, the formula, new price, that is $22, minus old price, that is $20, divided by old price, that is $20, multiplied by 100. 2 divided by 20 multiplied by 100 gives you 10%. Again, we'll also calculate percentage change in quantity demanded. So percentage change in quantity demanded, I'll call it QD. The new quantity demanded is 98,500. The old quantity demanded is 100,000. And I divide this by 100,000. And when I multiply this by 100, so basically 1500 divided by 100,000 multiplied by 100, and this is going to be also be negative because you get negative 1500 in the numerator, and you divide this by 100,000, that is your denominator, and then you multiply this by 100, so you get 1.5. So now 1.5% is your percentage change in quantity demanded, and the percentage change in price is 10%. So that means your demand will be price inelastic. So if you apply this formula, PED is equal to percentage change in price is 10%, percentage change in quantity demanded is 1.5%. 1.5 divided by 10 is going to be 0.15 negative. So this is going to be negative 0.15, which is also PED is inelastic in this case. So as you guys know, and I told you guys as well, that PED is going to be inelastic, and I told you guys as well that when it's something that is a necessity, like such as rice. So for in the case of rice, it's also consumer behavior that when there is a rise in price of rice, the consumers will not reduce the consumption of rice because it's something that you have on a daily basis. Same goes for bread or something like same goes for roti as well. But what happens is that it's because it's something you have on a daily basis and it is staple food. So for example, if there is a rise in price of rice, it's not going to affect quantity demanded very much um, because people will not stop consuming rice if rice is becoming slightly more expensive. People will not reduce the amount of rice they are consuming. Also, if rice becomes cheaper, for example, the price of rice goes down. So even then, the consumers will not have more rice. So it's understood because it's staple food and people don't change consumption a lot. This does not impact majority of consumers, but yes, it can impact a few consumers. That is why your quantity demanded will still fall, but it does not impact all the consumers. Okay, the next calculation is for cars, and the price per unit in dollars is falling. Quantity demanded in terms of units is rising. So again, we'll do the same calculation. For price, I will do new price 13,000 minus old price 15,000 divided by old price 15,000 multiplied by 100. So 2000 divided by, so negative 2000 divided by 15,000 multiplied by 100. So negative 2000 divided by 15,000 multiplied by 100 will give me negative 13.33%. This is going to be my percentage change for the percentage change in price for cars. Similarly, I will calculate percentage change for percentage change in quantity demanded of cars. So quantity demanded, percentage change in quantity demanded. So the new quantity demanded is 28,000 minus the old quantity demanded is 20,000 divided by old quantity demanded, that is 20,000 multiplied by 100. So my answer will be, I'm going to do 8,000 divided by 20,000 multiplied by 100, which is going to give me 40%. So now we'll apply the PED formula. PED is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded, that is 40%, divided by percentage change in price, that is 13.33%. So 40 divided by 13.33 is going to be 3.00007. So we'll, for simplicity, we'll just take 3. PED is equal to 3. PED is price inelastic in this case. Sorry, it's price elastic in this case because it is cars. Cars is a luxury item, and cars, when you are purchasing a car, it's a high involvement purchase. Why do I say it's a high involvement purchase? Because if something is expensive, you will think a lot about it. You will think a lot before purchasing that product, because it takes a huge proportion of my income. So let's say, if it's a expensive phone that I'm going to purchase, but even then I'm going to think a lot before purchasing, because it's going to be a high involvement product, because I am going to be more involved in my purchase decision. If the product is expensive, it takes a huge proportion of my income. So in case of cars also, if cars have become cheaper, it's a luxury item. When luxuries become cheaper, the quantity demanded increases a lot. So there's a small change in price, that is 13.33%, is leading to a 40% rise in quantity demanded in case of cars. But in case of rice, it was inelastic demand. A small change in price that, oh no, a change in price that was 10% in case of rice led to a 1.5% change in quantity demanded only. So 1.5% only, due after a change in price of 10%, it led to a 1.5% decrease in quantity demanded. That's it for this particular video. So what we studied in this video was, what is the definition of PED. You should understand the definition of PED, then try to remember what the exact words are. You need to have an understanding of it, that PED is simply how demand is going to respond to a change in price, and sometimes the demand is going to uh, respond very much. However, in few cases, the demand is not going to respond very much to a change in price. So that is the definition of PED, and then the formula for PED is very important. The formula for percentage change is very important. For the sake of interpretation, you guys should know PED is greater than 1. What does that mean? PED is less than 1. What does that mean? PED being less than 1 is price inelastic demand. PED greater than 1 is price elastic demand, and PED is equal to 1 is unitary elasticity in economics, which means that the change in price exactly matches the change in quantity demanded. So if there's a rise in price of 10%, the quantity demanded falls by 10%. That will lead to PED being equal to 1. Then we have calculations. So we did a calculation when the product's PED came out to be negative 0.5 or negative 0.15, which is inelastic. And in case of cars also, there was negative 3 was the answer, but yes, negative 3 also means it's elastic demand, and the change in price is leading to a huge change in quantity demanded. So this is elastic demand.